Yo, what's up? This is the Seiko 7546-606A. This is a Japanese domestic market watch, and that means that these were made for Japan, not for the rest of the world. There is an equivalent of this available for the rest of the world. Well, there was available, I should say, because this is a vintage watch. It's no longer available. This is 20 or 30 years old. The rest of the world watch was the 7546-6040. So this is a quartz watch, and you can tell that by three things. Firstly, the second hand has a strong tick to it. It's not smooth like a mechanical watch would be. Secondly, it's got quartz written on it. And thirdly, if you open the back, you can see it's got a battery and a quartz mechanism. Let's have a little look at this watch together, shall we? Now, I'm just going to take it off camera to give it a bit of a polish. Bear with me, I won't be long. Now, the polish doesn't make a huge difference because this watch has been worn over the decades and has a few scuffs and buffs and scratches here and there. So it's not pristine, but it still retains a huge amount of charm, and this is one of my all-time favourites. This little Pepsi quartz, incredibly difficult to get hold of. I got this in Japan. But you could, if you're lucky, find a nice example on the internet. On eBay is dubious. You'd need to go on specialist watch sale sites. But be prepared to open your wallet wide because they don't come cheap. For what they are, they don't come cheap. Let's have a look at the watch together, shall we? So bring it in close. So this is the quartz, as we said originally, and it's at the bottom. You can see it's written Silverwave Z with a strange little logo. I don't know what that logo is actually. It's like a sort of a link or a rocket, not really sure. The indices are painted on, and the lume is basically the indices, apart from at 12, 6 and 9, where they have the little outline painted with the lume inside. And the lume is, after all these years, a little bit ineffective. It glows immediately after it's been in the light. Let's just try it. No, you can't really make it out. It's very subtle. It's just a bit faded. However, it's got a little bit of colour to it immediately in the dark, but it doesn't last long. At 3 o'clock we've got the date and day window, which is white on black, a little bit unusual. The dial itself is actually very, very deep blue. So the day and date wheel being black, well, you can't really tell at those dimensions, can you? But there is a slight difference in colour. We've got a chapter ring all the way around the inside that takes us to this bezel, this lovely Pepsi bezel, which is bidirectional, and it's just friction. There's no click, which is interesting. And on this particular example, it's quite stiff. It's got a little bit of friction to it, which is good. On others I've seen, it just spins freely. I don't know how it does the friction and keeps the bezel in place, but this one is good. And it's very rare to find a bezel in good condition because they get really bashed up. This one's in pretty good condition, and the colours are nice still. Often on these vintage 7546s, the Pepsi colours are very faded, whereas this still has a lot of vibrancy to it. Let's keep going around the watch and have a look, shall we? The screw down crown is at 4, and it's a very fiddly little thing. It's really difficult to get in there. I mean, I've got big hands, so that doesn't help, and it is a small watch, but it's difficult to unwind. Anyway, you unwind it, and then you need to pull that out with your nail. It is a tricky process, but once you've got the crown out, you can change the day, the date, the time, and it works perfectly fine. And then you screw that back in, and then you've got 100-meter water. No, I've always assumed it was 100 meters, but it just says water resist. So I don't know what that. If you know what the water resistance of this watch is, let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to know. I always assumed it was 100 meters, but it doesn't actually say. On the back, we've got a screw down crown. We've got the Seiko Wave logo there, and the serial number. Water resist G, stainless steel. Japan J. Oops, excuse me. My camera's starting to lose itself. Here we go. Right, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. So yeah, back as I was saying, Japan J. So that denotes that it was for the Japanese market. And then we've got the model number 7546606A and a little E in a circle. The bracelet itself is kind of box standard really for Seiko, but really nice. Folded, little Seiko writing on the clasp there, and you know it wears so easily. Pop it on, there we go, and it's really comfortable, and I think it looks ace, absolutely superb. This is a beautiful little vintage piece of history, and I really enjoy it. It's one of my favourites in my collection. So I've got a 7.5-inch wrist. We didn't measure the watch, did we? Just have a look at that. It's not too small, it's not too big, it's just right. It's how the watches used to be before they became giant, and after they were tiny. In the olden days they were tiny, and nowadays they're massive. This is how I think watches should be. So the dimensions, it's 38mm across the dial, so modest. Lug to lug is 20mm. Sorry, lug width is 20mm. Lug to lug is 45mm. So, modest little thing. And the thickness is 11mm. So that's my Seiko Quartz Silverwave 7546606A. Really like this thing. It's the Pepsi Delight. You like it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I think it's a little corker. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more watch videos. I also do EDC and knife videos. Click like if you liked my video. If you didn't like it, just move on. Don't worry about it. And as I said earlier, I'd love to have a chat with you about this watch in the comments. So please leave a comment and we'll have a little chat about it. Okay, that's it. Thanks, folks. See you soon.